Finding gold is never as easy as it appears on TV. Finding gold means becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable.
I'm going to get wet. I can see that coming. That's a lot of rain.
And arming myself with some of the best metal detecting equipment on Earth before hiking into the hills to find abandoned gold mines.
This thing is massive. Oh my god.
Even though these mines have been neglected for over 150 years,
do I dare go in? Yes.
A lot of them still contain specimen gold. And on this trip, you're going to see just how much work goes into finding those nuggets.
Today's mission is very simple. I'm out with the GPX 6000 in a place where I found 65 gold nuggets using the brand new coil check coils to see if I missed anything. For those who are interested, I'm using the settings of Auto 12 on easy ground because now I've got that small coil helping me out. Ground balance, EMI, and that's it. Oh! Now I think I've got a target here. That sure sounds like a target.
I decided to come back to this spot because I knew there was gold in the ground.
After pulling 65 gold specimens out of this spot, I'm going to check the quartz first.
Anytime you're dealing with a new piece of equipment that you don't yet fully understand, it's good to take it to an area where you can actually test its capabilities on the thing you're trying to find.
Gotta be a bit of junk. That's too loud to be gold. Yep, first target of the day. Bit of lead. Somewhere in this section here. Ooh, that's a rock. I have got quite a lot of hot rocks in this area, and I can't tell if that's quartz or not. I guess I'm not going to know until I take that home and put it in an old dolly pot and stamp it up with Stampy.
Unbeknownst to me at the time, the new settings I was using with the new coil were allowing me to find a lot of hot rocks.
Really?
Which is not ideal.
Normally, I run the machine in difficult ground because of the iron content here, and I get a lot of false signals. Now, the reason for upgrading your machine to a smaller coil like I've got on the 6000 at the moment is so that there is less minerals underneath your coil, and therefore it doesn't have to fight as many false signals, and you should be able to run your machine with less discrimination. The problem with that is when you get rocks that are potentially hot rocks like this that have a lot of iron in them, it can still set your machine off as long as the concentrations are there. I just realized something. I could test this by putting the machine into difficult ground. Ah, that's probably a hot rock. That is definitely showing me two things. If you're running the 6000 in regular ground, it's way more sensitive. Unless it's definitely in quartz, it's probably a hot rock.
After working that little tidbit of information out, the gold started popping out of the ground.
I've been working hard. It has been about 40 minutes and I'm running the machine back in difficult ground. And I think I might have one. I believe it's about there. First scoop and be a bit of quartz. Yeah. We're gonna check that rock right there. Damn it. It's one of those three things. It's loud. It very well could be junk. It's not that one. Damn, that's loud. Can't tell. I'm going to have to spit on it. If it's not a hot rock, the spit will be worth it. Oh, it's gold! Ah! I don't know if Coil Check have made this coil more sensitive, but for the size of that, it's bottoming the machine out, which means that there's probably a fair chunk of gold in there. See those little gold flakes poking out of the mud there? Yeah, boy. All of this gold is coming out of original ground in the float rock. That's our modern layer. That's got all our junk in it. All of this here is barren clay, and then underneath it, you can see this rock. That rock right there is the stuff we're chasing because that is what's shedding out of the hillside carrying the gold. Gyro nuggets.
Now I knew there was gold in the float, and all I had to do was scrape it back and follow it.
Gonna lay this nice and flat just to make sure that there isn't any more in there. Ground noise or gold, ground noise or gold. That's probably a bit of gold. Ah! That could be another one. That could be 3 gold nuggets. First one I think is in here. You wouldn't believe my luck, I got it on the 27th scoop. Well, let's just tip the rocks out. Ah, it's going to be one of these rocks. Nope. Oh, yeah. And that is going to be a specimen. That is going to be a specimen. And the gold gods have seen fit to make it rain, but that's okay. We are 2 down, and we got 2 more targets to dig out of the ground. Jar nuggets. Just letting this rainstorm pass. I know I was wearing a t-shirt before it simply because I got hot digging. It's only about 5 degrees today, so it's properly cold. And as you might be able to see, now it's wet too. The second target that was very faint, whoo, yeah, it was hard to find because it was tiny. But this right here is definitely the smallest piece of gold I have ever found. See that tiny little thing sticking out of the middle of the piece of rock? That's a piece of gold. And that bloody machine found it. I have a really nice third loud target up here. All I want to do is see if I can't just drag it back. Hopefully it's in that loose stuff. Alright, looks like I moved it. We'll just make sure. Yep, we moved it. Alright, this is probably going to be another specimen. We're in that float rock, we're under the modern rubbish layer.
Because I've dug down to the deeper float layer, there's no man-made objects there, meaning that anything that sets the metal detector off was formed naturally. This includes hot rocks and gold specimens.
Oh, can't be that rock. Ah! Alright, we started with 3 hot rocks. That is a bit of quartz, so... Oh, I can see the gold! Oh, it's a good day when the gold pops its head out like that. Little knobby of gold. Beautiful. Yes, 3 hot rocks, 3 specimens. That's not a bad ratio. Hopefully there's a few more. That, my dears, is a wolf spider. Boop. See that? See all that float? All this. This is what we're interested in. This is where our gold's coming from. So when we hit that layer, we just follow it. We don't dig deeper. We just go forward. Help. Well, no definite ones on that time. Bugger. Fortunately for today, I'm out of time. It's going to get dark in an hour and I've got to go pick up my dog from daycare. It's been about 2 weeks since getting these coils. And in that time, I've already been over to the central goldfields around Bendigo and Ballarat.
Just a little piece.
Ah! It's a puglet.
It looks spiky, so spiky.
And due to some very generous subscribers, managed to find about a dozen gold nuggets.
This is a gold specimen that I'm going to be crushing. This is also a gold specimen that I'm going to be crushing.
The goal for this trip was simple.
Oh man, I wish other things extended that easily.
First go over where I'd already worked to make sure I hadn't missed anything.
In the great words of Jeremy Clarkson, power!
And then go hunting for a mine that I'd read about on Trove.
Came up and found a little bit of float sticking out of a sidewall, and I've got a signal. Could be ground noise, but I think it's a target. Yeah! 5th scoop's a charm, that's what I always say. That's all I've got left in my scoop, and I can't see anything gold coloured yet. But let us start squishing, because sometimes when you squish, you end up with a result. It's screaming, but there's... Oh, yeah, I see it. Yep. That is a tiny piece of spalding off me pick. Prospecting is not always gravy. In fact, more often than not, it's anti-gravy. It's non-gravy. There's not that much gravy. I had to change spots. I spent 2 hours looking for gold, and I didn't even find a single piece of scrap metal other than what was off the end of my pick. I came to an area where I knew there were mines. I found a mine. I can't even see the bottom. It is really hard to give you scale just how big and deep this mine is. Look at that. And that's not even the mine I'm looking for. Lead the way, Pathhound. That right there is an 1800s mining road that is very well hidden in the bush. It took me a while to find. And if that big ass hole in the ground was just a hole on the way in, hopefully this mine that I'm trying to find will be just as good. That's level. That's level. I'm following that white velociraptor. Hey, hey, hey. Look at that. That's a mine. Oh, oh, that's a nice looking adit. It's still open. Ah. Most adits like this have collapsed in a long time ago. Finding ones open like this in my area, pretty uncommon. Do I dare go in? Yes. Mine safety, there could be gases in there that are not conducive to life. There could be rocks falling from the roof that are also not conducive to life. Always let someone know where you're going to go, and don't dick around in them in general. And in Australia, snakes. I'm really interested that this mine hasn't collapsed. That float layer I was talking about earlier, this is that. This is the mountain breaking apart and slowly sliding down itself. And we've got more solid rock down the bottom, but for the most part, it looks like it's almost all entirely made of float, which means the structural integrity is questionable. I will be right back. That there, that is solid bedrock, and then the float starts at this level here. So the whole mountain is decayed for over half of this mine. You can see it really clearly just here. Solid, float. There's our first creepy crawly. That is a really nice Widowmaker. And of course the Widowmaker has some beautiful vein structures. We have an alcove. Is it a tunnel? Oh, it's a short little one. Yeah, made it to the end. Oh, we have a cross vein here. Look at that. I'm not even joking when I say there's like a million spiders in here. They're everywhere. Fenster! Hi, Papa! First things first, that was a really cool mine. There is 2 mad vein structures at the back there that I would love to sample. But there's one big problem, and that is at the entrance of this mine, it's fine to breathe. But up the back, where I showed you that vein structure, I started getting really hot and short of breath, and that is a really good indicator for CO2 buildup.
It wasn't until I got out of that mine and turned around when I spotted this.
I'm going to regret scrambling down the hill because I saw the faintest signal that there might be a mine down the bottom, and holy crap. First of all, hand stacked wall off to the side. That thing is literally a couple of stories tall and the floors collapsed out of it. I'll get closer. I gotta make sure you don't get anywhere near it. This thing is massive. Oh my God. That is just a cavern. I don't think I'm standing on solid ground. Is that water? That is water. It's full of water. I'm pretty sure that's water. Let's find out. Yep. Just look at how far back that goes. I'm zoomed in a whole bunch here. You can see some of the old supports in the roof. That is so cool. And look at the vein structures that are in the side walls. There are so these are the stringers I was talking about. They hunted a main vein, which looks like they went in on this. And they chased, there's obviously several veins that they went in going that way, but these sideways horizontal veins to the main lode are the ones we're interested in because they're too thin for the old timers to work, but for us, there just needs to be one little nugget in any of these. Obviously they created a footbridge across this and there's probably another level below us. I love the notches in the wood for their boards, and just to think that these timbers were cut down in the late 1800s. Wow, I don't know how I'm going to get back up the hill because it's legitimately like that, but we're going to do a bit of detecting around here.
Finding a mine like this is exciting, but this is a prospecting day and I had to move on.
The track I was on is way up there, and that big open mine is above that behind those trees. I've come down, I found an old 1800s road, followed it here. Look at all this working. I've got a massive mullock pile here. There's a signal right there that sounds good, and this road just goes. That's the road. It just goes and goes and goes. And I don't have enough time today to explore all this. I'm going to have to come back. Come on. I want to see one piece of gold today, just one. None of that. None of that. Where is this thing? Oh, it took way too long to find a tiny little bit of lead spalding. It is getting really late and I have to get out of here before it gets dark. But I'm coming back because this is a very significant mining area. And as far as I remember from all the maps that I've got, this isn't even marked.
And that's the way it goes. Most trips don't end up in gold. Luckily for me, a mine we found marked on a map the next day yielded much better results.
Today's plan is very simple. We are trying to put an actual gold mine to a mark on the map. We have found a great historical reference to a very rich gold mine, and we know roughly where it should be, which is just at the top of this hill here. Hopefully we're going to find it, and if we find it, hopefully they've left us just a little bit of gold.
Up the hill we go. Up the hill we go.
I love going uphill. It makes my thighs feel so good. We're doing the we're lost thing.
It's just around there.
That's a little bit more than a hole in the ground, eh? I'm standing right on the edge of that collapse. Look how deep that bad boy is, and there's a little bit of a tunnel left. That there is the original entrance to the attic. Gazzy just called up from at the collapse where he said he can see gold in the wall. Now normally when people say I can see gold in the wall, it's a yellow rock. Show me the gold. It's in your sweatpants. Wow. Hi. I still reserve judgment, but maybe. I'm zoomed in at 38.5 times. It's kind of blurry. We don't have enough.
We've got rainbow colours on your screen.
We don't have enough zoom on the main camera, so I've had to go to my mobile phone. Right there. Maybe.
It isn't.
It could be so
gold.
many things.
It's gold!
It could be so many things. You can get in down the bottom.
Can you?
Yeah. I said you could get in, but I didn't say it'd be easy. Tell me how sketchy it looks.
Oh, it's sketchy.
Pretty sketchy?
I don't know about that one. That one's looking a bit, yeah.
This is a no bueno. There is not one, but about 200 widowmakers just here. However, we are going to very gingerly. Oh shit. No, we're not going to touch that. No, we're not. Take it off the ground, we are.
Map price.
Looking at the maps, we're really confident this is the one we were looking for. There is a nice ore pad up behind me, and I've got a spill of quartz coming out of this old mullock pile. This is where we find specimens. It's always going to be in the quartz that was dug out deep underground, and they discarded, not knowing that there was gold locked up in it. Alright, haven't even moved a foot. That's all quartz. That is all quartz. There's got to be specimens in this pile. I don't know what that is. Is that a rock or a bit of...
Looks like it's got quartz in it.
That looks vaguely rockish. Do you mind if I borrow your water bowl? Because I really need it. My spit isn't lubricated enough. I think that's a rock. Oh! Ooh, no, that's pyrite. It's a rock. It's 100% a rock. It's got pyrite in it too, because I thought that was gold. I cannot see any gold in this. There is pyrite on this end, so in the right light, it reflects gold, so it looks very much like gold. It could be a hot rock, but we're only going to know once we take it home and smash the bejesus out of it. That doesn't sound like a hot rock on the detector. This might be the start of a very good day. These dark side slopes never see any sun, and so you get a lot of plant growth and a lot more moisture in the ground. And look at what the grass is covering up. All of that is quartz from the main vein.
What I didn't know was this was the start of a run of reef gold specimens.
That sounds really nice. As long as it's in a rock. As long as it's in a rock. That's very loud.
Oh my god.
That's quartz. We put the mine back on the map, didn't we? The first target was a sketchy maybe. This is a piece of quartz. Guaranteed there is gold in this. Oh, yep, right there. Right there, I can see it. Look at that. Hell yeah, Senor Gadsden. Hell yeah.
I think we found a spot.
I think we found a spot. God bless that map. I just spent a whole bunch of time digging and looking, and I cannot find a single other target. One nail, one potential gold specimen, and one definite gold specimen. That's not a bad ratio. let's go look somewhere else, because that's what exploring's all about.
You can bet that we'll be back in the future to explore this mine further, but on this day, we chose to pop over to a nearby mine we knew had some decent gold around it.
It's a good one. We come up to a spot where I found 2 little tiny specimens before and a lot of junk. And I thought, you know what? We're not that far. Let's go there and try it. And yeah, that is what I call a specimen. That is a nice flat piece of gold on the rock. I don't even know if I'm going to crush that one. That's pretty. Jar of nugs. I don't know if that's gold, but there's definitely a signal there. Funny how you just end up hitting streaks, like you look and you look and you look and nothing, and nails and bullcrap and hiking and calories expended, and finally you find something that goes, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Ah, it was that big rock. Did I just scan the wrong side? I scanned the wrong side. And I can't see anything. I guess it means it's an Easter egg. And if I'm not getting any signal from this side, I'm guessing that it's going to be somewhere in this area. Radio, we have another one. It's somewhere in this section. It sounds like gold. Hopefully, it'll mark another specimen. Somewhere here. Well, that was easy. It's literally the first rock I picked up. This one's all gooey too, so we're going to give it a wash. Oh, a gentle spritzing. Yes. Well, even though it's clean, I cannot see any gold in that, so that is another one for the dolly pot.
After literally days of searching for gold, it was super exciting to start getting so many specimens all in one spot.
This target's over here in the corner. It's really loud though, so it sounds like a bit of junk to me. If I can find it again. Nope. It's not a bit of junk. Look at that. I have another little signal here. And hopefully that's just like a small little flake or something. You can tell it's a small target when it takes that long to find it with the 6000. That took entirely too much time. Alright, that's our target. That looks like another specimen to me. Let's go wash it off. Alright, here's our target. And yeah, that's why it was such a small bloody noise. Look at that. There's a piece of gold there, but it's not very big. Couldn't work out why my thumb was hurting so much until I looked down and finally saw why. Quartz be sharp, guys. Quartz be real sharp. At least I made the blood sacrifice to pay for all these specimens. I stopped filming because it was steel, 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 just non-stop steel, and then quartz. So yeah, have a listen to this. That's a good sign. That is 100% going to be a big bit of steel, but you know, for some contrast to today's prospecting. First scoop, if I got it first scoop, you know it's a bit of crap. Yep, one bit of crud. I tell you what, every single time I stop filming because I'm digging up steel, I find gold nuggets. That's so cool. You can actually see the gold on this one too. It's right on the tip there. And it sounds all...
Working around old mines takes a lot of patience and persistence. The old timers discarded and lost a lot of rubbish in their waste rock piles. But alongside the rubbish, gold specimens were also discarded. And if you're willing to dig through all that steel, you will be rewarded.
Ugh. But I mean, like, you'll never know till you dig it up. Not first scoop, so that means it might be gold. Nah. Bit of rubbish steel. Poopy. Right next to where the steel was, which was in there. That's very... I reckon that's more steel. It sounded better before. What a guess. Oh! No, that's gold. Wow! That was right next to it. Look at that. That's a proper nugget. I think this has been pretty successful. The other day we found a really nice mine that we're going to go into at some point, and today we managed to find the mine we were looking for, including a gold specimen from it, and then we managed to come up to a different section of the 100-ish nugget ground and pull out, I don't even know how many, like at least 10. So we are going to go home, we're going to get all the gold out that we've got for the last few days, crush it up and find out how much we got.
These are all the small pieces of gold ore that I managed to collect over a few different days. Not forgetting, of course, this bad boy. There are multiple different methods that I could use to extract the gold out of these pieces of ore. Everything from furnaces to chemical extraction. But I'm going to keep it really simple and use a dolly pot. This is an adult mortar and pestle. I am going to put this specimen aside because I think it is too beautiful to crush or destroy, and I'd love to give someone the opportunity to own this in the very near future. This little nugget here is pretty much all gold, so I don't want to flatten him out, and he's going to be put aside as well. Whereas the specimens that I found with only a very small visible piece of gold like this one, or no visible gold at all like those ones, are going to meet their fate at the end of Stampy here. The first specimen to meet its fate is going to be the rock that I pulled out at the mine on the last day that I was unsure of if it's a specimen or just a hot rock. That was so freaking soft. That took a little bit of looking because I could not see any gold in it until I spotted this piece. There you go, that was a specimen. So we found 2 specimens at that abandoned mine. It might not be very big, but it definitely tells me I've got to go back and hunt those waste rock piles because there's going to be more gold in there. Right, I'm going to get to crushing. Other than the really big rock, all the other main big rocks have been crushed down to this, and I'm about to add all these small pieces into the pot. That one's a little too nice to crush. I might keep him as is. Normally I'd be super pedantic about getting all of this quartz through that mesh, but today, because I know that we're going to use that chemical extraction process, and all of the material contained within this crush will be part of it, I am not too fussed. Not including those 4 specimens, which are already mostly gold, or that big bad boy. The question becomes, how much gold did we get? Right there in the corner, that is super fine gold that we released from crushing, and that's what I was talking about. All those big pieces of quartz there could be containing more of those little pieces of gold. Again, not including 5 of the specimens we did collect, this is what we managed to crush out of the specimens we did process. I'm expecting a reasonable amount of gold. Some of those targets are making good signals. Oh yeah! Look at the nuggets! Oh, yeah, boy. Oh. Okay, that is all getting reprocessed because the amount of fine gold in there is a lot. That is a bloody good take. And remember, we still have stuff to crush and further process. That's why the 6,000 was making a lot of noise. These are solid little bits. That's probably 1/4 gram of gold.
And I don't normally do this, but if you do want to see the future videos where I do chemical extraction, consider hitting the subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on them.
Certainly not a huge take of gold, but I'm still really happy with that considering all the effort that we went into finding new areas and coming away with a couple of beautiful specimens. I'm super happy with my choice of keeping this one uncrushed. I think it looks really pretty and it shows some really cool geology. And this piece is just cool. I really like how sharp it is and it was super loud on the detector. Look at how much fine gold came out of all those other specimens. I can't wait to reprocess the ore that I've already crushed up to see how much more comes out of it. And it's not every day you get to have a handful of gold treasure. Even though there's a lot of rock in this specimen, I'm still going to weigh it just for shits and gigs. 0.8. And the ironstone specimen, I'm going to guess quarter gram? 0.3 more. And now all the rest of the nuggets. Little over a gram, 1.02. And gingerly tap in all the fine gold. A total of 1.25 grams recovered. Obviously, I have a whole heap more ore to process. We've still got the really big rock. I didn't crush 2 of the specimens that weren't included in the weigh-in. And we've got all of that ore we've already crushed to reprocess with acid. And for those who want to know, 1.25 grams at today's gold prices are worth 101 Australian dollars. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please give your dog a scratch behind the ears for me. Peace, and I'm out.